I'd like to call to order. Good evening, everyone. At this time, I would like to call this meeting of the Board of Education to order, and I will ask our board members to identify themselves for the record as I call your name. Katie Addis.
Present.
John Andes.
Present.
Bill Gordy.
Present.
Donald Smack.
Present.
William Buchanan, President. We have Todd Ferrante and Elena McComas are not with us this evening. And we have a quorum. Can I have a motion to approve today's board meeting agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Donald Smack, second.
Second.
Bill Gordy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? In a motion to enter into closed session under the General Provisions Act, Section 3-305B of the Annotated Code of Maryland for the following reasons. To approve closed session minutes from the previous month, Section 3-305B, 1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, let me take a breath, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom it has jurisdiction, or any other personal matter that affects one or more specific individuals. Section 3-305B9 to discuss matters relative to negotiations. Can I have a motion to enter into closed session?
Motion.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are now in closed session. I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. As we reconvene this Board of Education open session meeting, I want to know that we still have a quorum. The closed session meeting was held today pursuant to the General Provisions Article 3-305B of the Annotated Code of Maryland to approve previous closed session minutes to discuss personnel matters and to discuss matters related to negotiations. We have an invocation. Pastor Debbie Johnson from First Presbyterian Church in Ocean City will lead the invocation for us today, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Loving and gracious God, you are indeed the giver of all good gifts, and we thank you today for all of your blessings, for the successful outcomes of our school events, and for all our staff members, both the teaching and support members. We ask that you bless them abundantly as we continue to seek your wisdom, guidance, courage, and strength. Be with us in our deliberations and help us to be wise in the decisions we make for the good of all those who have placed their trust and confidence in our leadership. Give us insight to lead with integrity, that our decisions may reflect what is right and good. Keep us from short-sightedness and pettiness. Help us to make decisions that are for the good of all, and guard us from blind self-interest. Dear Lord, grant us the humility to always seek your will in all that we do and all that we say. All glory be to you, loving God, now and always, through Christ and the Holy Spirit, forever and ever. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Can I have a motion to approve the open session minutes from February the 18th and March 25th?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Smack.
Second.
Second, Dr. Andes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And now at this time, Mr. Taylor, our superintendent, will give his report for this month.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. While next month we will be celebrating the incredible teachers who have been named their school's Teacher of the Year, who I announced last meeting, we had the distinct pleasure of meeting several members of the next generation of educators just this weekend. This past Saturday, we hosted our annual Teacher and Staff Recruitment Fair at Stephen Decatur High School. At that time, prospective new teachers and support professionals from across the region who are interested in coming to Worcester County had an opportunity to meet and speak with our school leaders and our instructional coordinators. This event is always fun for me as I get to see, speak with, and get to know a little bit about these professionals who would like to join our outstanding teaching team and workforce here in Worcester County. I'd like to thank today Dr. App and his HR team for once again putting together an outstanding event, and I am certain that we will meet quite a few shining stars that I hope we will see in our schools next year. And now, while tonight's meeting isn't flushed with the student recognitions that we know and love, I want to encourage our board to come out to Snow Hill High School on Thursday, this coming Thursday, March 20th, for the annual Media Expo. This nationally recognized event showcases our students' outstanding efforts in a variety of media, from photography to coding and AI generative work to podcasting. This event is not one you'd want to miss. And I will tell you, it's incredible every year that I do it to see the number of young people participating. So I hope you and those members in our audience and those watching our live stream this evening will come out and support this event. It's an exciting, exciting event. With that, I'll now turn it back over to you, Mr. Buchanan.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Now for one of my most favorite parts of Board of Education meetings, and that really is the student representative reports. it's like the heartbeat of the school system when you listen to these three outstanding students give a brief description of what the schools are doing monthly by monthly. You know, it's almost like a stethoscope of listening to that. And so it's my pleasure to have Teresa from Pocomoke High School start off with the first report.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. We are thrilled to share a number of exciting accomplishments from our students and staff. First and foremost, we are incredibly proud to announce that 11 of our students have been recognized with College Sport National Recognition Program awards, each scoring in the top 10% of their categories. A special congratulations goes to Tanae Henderson, who received the prestigious AP Scholar with Honor College Board Award. Our students also shone brightly at the Eastern Shore Young Authors Contest, with 3 students earning top honors, and a special shout out to Ziane Franklin, who qualified for the state contest with her incredible poem. Our Educators Rising students had an amazing experience at the Maryland Teach Conference, and several PHS students were selected to present to educators from across the state, showcasing their leadership and passion for teaching. On top of that, our students participated in Read Across America Day, enjoying engaging discussions and reading novels during Your 60, while dressing up as their favorite book characters. With SAT Day approaching this Wednesday, many of our students took part in 2 prep sessions on Saturdays earlier this month to help set them up for success. Rising Warrior Night was a huge success, with 8th grade students and their families learning all about high school life, selecting electives, meeting teachers, and accessing important community resources. At the same time, we held our final community tribe time and parent conferences of the year. We are also honored to host our bus contractors, custodial staff, maintenance staff, and cafeteria workers for a special breakfast to thank them for their unwavering dedication to our school community. We were excited to host Screenagers this past Monday, a thought-provoking documentary exploring the impact of social media on mental health, relationships, and overall well-being. We hope these views sparks important conversations and promotes healthier choices for our young people. And speaking of incredible events, we can't wait for the Media Expo this Thursday evening. We'll be at Snow Hill High School celebrating the outstanding work of our PHS award winners, as well as all WCPS students who submitted entries. In sports news, we are proud to announce that Derek Fuchs, our athletic director, PE teacher, and basketball coach, was recognized as a Jefferson Award winner by WBOC. This incredible achievement was celebrated during our Winter Sports Awards. Our state champion field hockey and track teams are also heading to Annapolis today to be recognized on the Senate floor for their remarkable achievements. Additionally, congratulations to senior Danye Washington, who finished her basketball season with over 1,000 rebounds, 1,000 points, and was named to First Team All-Bayside South. Several of our athletes earned second and third team honors, as well as honorable mentions. A special congratulations goes to Maddie Esham, a multi-sport athlete, field hockey, basketball, and softball, who is being honored as a February Scholar Athlete by Delmarva Sports Network this week. The energy, dedication, and incredible accomplishments of our students and staff continue to inspire us all. We sincerely thank the Board of Education for its continued support of our schools and communities. Your dedication makes a world of difference to our students and staff. And now on to the Worcester Technical High School. March is a busy month at Worcester Tech. Students have begun taking their industry-recognized credentials in their respective programs and doing well. Students are taking and passing their assessments in everything from Autodesk Revit to cosmetology theory and practice to OSHA 10. Programs are seeing a 90% or higher pass rate on these industry certifications, and some programs are reaching 100% pass rates. Worcester Tech will continue to test throughout the spring as different programs have different windows for their testing. Need a job? Worcester Tech is busy trying to find something for everyone. Recently, cosmetology and criminal justice students visited Burbage Funeral Home to learn about the field of mortuary science, a field that needs workers. Students in the trades visited LeClaire Flooring to learn about advanced interior design work. Students will be visiting independent electrical contractors Chesapeake to find out more about electrical apprenticeships. Worcester Tech is hosting a fire science event on March 26th. Representatives from all Worcester County Fire Departments will be at Tech with the goal of encouraging more students to take the fire science program and join their respective cadet programs. Several competitions are occurring this month in Skills USA. All of these competitions will determine which students will compete in what competitions at the end of the month, with Worcester Technical High School travels to the state competition on March 28th. We hope to capitalize on where we left off last year and bring home additional first-place titles. We celebrate our March staff and students of the month. Andrew Carey, our IT specialist, have been recognized as the staff of the month. Pocomoke High School's Jamia Roberts, representing the early childhood program, is the AM student of the month. Stephen Decatur's Graham Gieser, representing the pre-engineering program, is the PM student of the month. Congratulations. Worcester Tech thanks the Board of Education and the executive leadership team for your continued support of our students, staff, and school. And now on to Chloe.
Thank you, Teresa. As winter transitions to spring, Snow Hill High School continues to celebrate student achievements in academics, athletics, and the arts. Last week, the Mu Alpha Theta Math Honor Society inducted 21 new members, and Beta Club welcomed 19 students in recognition of their academic excellence and leadership. Snow Hill's young writers also earned top honors in the Eastern Shore Literacy Association's Young Authors Contest. Serena Weaver won first place in the short story category for The Girl in the Backseat, while Riley Richardson took first place in poetry for I'm No Philosopher. Savannah Wirtz also claimed first place in short story for The Way, and Nadir Hassan El placed second in poetry for Shine. With both Serena Weaver and Savannah Wirtz were named state finalists and will attend the Young Authors Award ceremony in Baltimore on April 2nd. Winter sports wrapped up with a historic achievement for the girls basketball team, who secured the 1A East Region's second championship. The boys team had an impressive season but fell short in the regional final against Cambridge. In academics, the counseling department has completed course selection advising for students in grades 8 through 11th, ensuring they are well prepared for the 2025-26 school year. SAT preparation has also been a major focus, with over 22 juniors dedicating their Saturday mornings to the SAT boot camp. All juniors will take the SAT tomorrow, March 19th. Seniors spent February 27th applying for scholarships, and those accepted to Salisbury University participated in a campus tour and information session. Students interested in automotive careers also visited Pohanka to learn about its apprenticeship program. Looking ahead, the theater club is preparing for its spring production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, which will run from March 28th through the 30th. After School Academy begins March 24th with a variety of new programs. The Jesse Klump Memorial Foundation's Zest for Life will provide students with a brain-focused strategies for learning and living, incorporating outdoor immersion and nature-based learning. This preventative mental health program equips students with the tools to build resilience and emotional literacy. Additionally, 4-H is partnering with us for a technology and home arts program, where students will become Canvas certified, learn to use AI for school projects, sew, create fabric collages, and more. A new addition to this session will be sport stacking, also known as cup stacking or speed stacking. Snow Hill High continues to thrive, and we are grateful for the unwavering support of our community and the board as we celebrate our students' achievements and look ahead to even greater success. Now on to Luke from Steve Decatur.
Thank you, Chloe, and good evening, everyone. March has brought more than daffodils for a busy Stephen Decatur High School, as instruction, sports, and extracurricular activities are all continuing at full speed. Looking back on the past month, SDHS had a lot going on and a lot to celebrate. In honor of African American History Month, our Rho Kappa Honor Society members partnered with elementary schools where they led fun activities and read the story of Ruby Bridges to our younger friends. Our Leo Club made sure that our furry friends were taken care of this winter by holding a pet food drive for the Worcester County Humane Society, and our Key Club allowed heroes to shine by sponsoring its second blood drive of the year. Our after-school academy tutorial programs were extremely successful, with dozens of students seeking and receiving help each week, and we launched a wonderful ELL support program called El Cafe. Senior Evan Todd represented us well during the Maryland General Assembly as the Worcester County page, and members of our Surfrider Club made presentations before our state legislators in Annapolis as well. Rounding out our list of accomplishments, we had 8 Young Authors Contest winners, including 2 state finalists, 3 Junior Achievement 18 Under 18 honorees, a Carson Recognized Scholar, a Woman of Tomorrow, and several Optimist Art and Essay Contest winners. In winter sports, our men's basketball team earned a Bayside Conference championship. Our unified strength and conditioning team earned its 2nd consecutive state title. Our girls and boys wrestling teams were state finalists, and Elijah Collick and Shania Berner wrestled their way to earn individual wrestling state titles. Our swim teams fell just shy of Bayside Conference titles, but several swimmers placed at the state level. Lastly, we had numerous Bayside South honorees, including a player and coach of the year. Moving to the month of March, our advanced placement classes are heating up, and our hundreds of AP students have all registered with College Board to take the examinations. Our school counselors are making sure our students are informed during the busy scheduling season, and in the testing world, we are administering the school day SAT to nearly 350 members of the junior class tomorrow. The month of March also has the school buzzing with activities. During the past 2 weeks, we have had a wildly popular inclusion campaign sponsored by our unified sports programs, and our school is sponsoring a beach tour drive for Believe in Tomorrow's Children House by the Sea. Donations welcome. We had numerous entries into the Media Expo, and 22 students eagerly await the results of their medal hunt the night of the ceremony. Our theater program is presenting Having Tea with Chekhov this coming weekend, March 20th through the 21st, and the National Honor Society is preparing for its annual induction ceremony on March 27th. Meanwhile, during the months of March and April, our National English Honor Society is sponsoring the Peggy Hevel Writing Contest. Looking ahead to the month of April, we have prom, our annual job fair and WeXL ceremony, Shakespeare Under the Stars, as well as additional Honor Society induction ceremonies, concerts, contests, and other events on deck. Finally, our spring sports have started off well, and we are excited to see what our 250-plus athletes will be able to accomplish this season. As always, we'd like to thank our central office leaders and our Board of Education members for your continued support, and wish everyone warm spirits as warmer days are ahead. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Buchanan.
Thank you, Lucas. Impressive, isn't it? Everything that goes on in our schools. It is now time to recognize any audience members joining us today from the following organizations. Do we have anyone present from WCTA? Not today. WCESPA? Thank you, Chanel. Worcester County Retired School Personnel? Thank you, Helen. Any representatives from the various schools? Okay, now we're moving on to proclamations, and I'm going to do the first one. I thought it was very apropos for the National Arts in Our School Month proclamation. Whereas Worcester County celebrates the transformative power of the arts and teachers and administrators who ensure that Worcester County public schools students receive an education in the arts, and whereas Youth Art Month, National Dance in Your Schools Month, National Music in Our Schools Month, and National Theater in Our Schools Month are observed annually during the month of March to bring attention to the impact of their representative art disciplines on students, teachers, and school communities, and can be collectively termed National Arts in Our Schools Month. And whereas the arts inclusive of dance, media arts, music, theater, and visual arts are required components of a well-rounded education as defined in the federal Every Student Succeeds Act and required subject areas under the Code of Maryland annotated regulations in COMAR. And whereas it is the priority that we reflect this recognition in policies and practices that expand access to arts education for Worcester County's public school students so that they can access the cognitive, social, and emotional benefits of a robust arts education. And now, therefore, be it resolved that Worcester County will continue working towards expanding access to arts education as an integral part of its mission to deliver a world-class education to its public school students. And it's signed by Todd Ferrante, Worcester County Board of Education President, and Lewis Taylor, Superintendent of Schools. Tamara.
Thank you. And just in honor of that, I would like to show two very quick, they're each less than 1 minute, exhibits that we are world premiering tonight that will come out tomorrow to promote National Arts Month.
Not about becoming rich and being a millionaire. It's about feeding your soul. If you have that understanding of music and you have that language, it just grows and matures you as a person.
I think the arts are important to a student's education because they teach lifelong skills that you may not always get in an academic classroom.
And even if they are, the special areas tend to enhance those skills. Things like interpersonal communication, nonverbal and verbal communication, collaboration, students working together in groups to create and complete projects.
So we focus a lot on the team aspect in chorus and theater. We are an ensemble, we are a group, and they have to learn how to communicate.
Confidence building activities where students can be successful that help build their confidence and self-esteem.
And that's an important life skill that they're gonna need as they grow and they get into life.
So it's very important for us to realize that a truly holistic education where adult and life skills are taught, it has to include the special areas.
That is our music and theater video that will premiere tomorrow on social media, and this is our visual arts.
You know, students, when they come to specials, they are given an opportunity to really rely on their own judgment. And like, there's no wrong answer in art if you are trying, and as long as you're You know, students, when they come to specials, they are given an opportunity to really rely on their own judgment. Again, like we say, there's really no wrong answer in art. If you are trying, and as long as you're sort of putting something on your paper, then what you're doing is there's no really wrong answer. And so they learn to problem solve and depend on their own intuition.
And that specials areas also allows for them to be able to enact things that they've learned in like ELA and maybe visually express that, or even mathematically with their construction, or even science related, they're able to create a visual representation. So it allows for a much larger synthesis for them to be able to activate those parts of their brain and reaches that whole child.
To teach them how to develop their ideas, how to become actually focused on a project and embrace their creativity.
My name is Dr. Melissa Reed.
My name is Heather Shockley.
My name is Janet Cho. Art is to be human.
Art is irreplaceable.
Art is vital.
Very nice. Very nice.
Our second proclamation is on the School Social Work Month, and Katie Addis.
Whereas school social workers serve as vital members of the educational team, playing an important role in creating a positive environment at schools. And whereas school social workers are especially skilled in identifying and providing services to students who face serious challenges to school success, including poverty, disability, discrimination, abuse, substance use, mental health, trauma, bullying, loss of a loved one, and other barriers to learning. And whereas school districts and local educational agencies should continue to work with school social workers to address students' social, emotional, physical, mental health, and environmental needs so that the students may achieve academic success. Whereas social workers are one of the largest groups of mental health care providers in the United States and work daily to help people overcome mental health challenges such as depression and anxiety and substance use disorders. Whereas the social work profession for decades has been dedicated to improving human well-being and enhancing the basic needs of all people, especially the most vulnerable among us. Now, therefore, in recognition of the numerous contributions made by social workers, the Worcester County Board of Education extends greetings and best wishes to all observing March 2025 as School Social Work Month. Signed, Todd A. Ferrante, President of the Worcester County Board of Education, and Lewis H. Taylor, Superintendent of Schools.
Adrian and Wendy, yeah. I can't help but say this. I have reminisced because my months are getting short. I taught these two young ladies when I student taught when they were in kindergarten, first grade at the elementary level. And when I saw them sitting back there tonight, walk up here, it just does my heart good to see both of them performing like they are as professionals now. Thank you, ladies.
Okay, next on the agenda is public comment. And all individuals who have signed up to address the Worcester County Board of Education may do so for 1 or 2 minutes regarding information, commendations, or concerns which may need future board attention. Concerns that are specific to an individual will not be discussed in open session and should be directed to the appropriate district personnel for investigation. When you are called to address the board, please state your name, address, and make sure that the mic is close to your when you're speaking. And we have Rose Ollinger tonight. Rose.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Mr. Taylor, members of the board, and community members, my name is Rose Zollinger. I reside on Ann Drive in Berlin and am a parent and educator in Worcester County Public Schools. I am also a proud member of Worcester United and am speaking on behalf of that organization this evening. First, I want to express Worcester United's sincere gratitude to this board for your dedication to developing a thorough, transparent budget that prioritizes the needs of every child in Worcester County. The time, effort, and care you put into ensuring our schools have the resources necessary for success does not go unnoticed. From funding academic programs and extracurricular activities to supporting our teachers and staff, your commitment to our students is invaluable. Worcester United is especially impressed that the budget was unanimously approved by all members of this board last month. However, as you know, a well-planned budget is only as strong as its funding. For the second year, it appears we are facing challenges in securing the necessary financial support from our county commissioners despite a surplus in funding. The reality is that underfunding our schools impacts not just our classrooms, but the future of our entire community in every way. Worcester United believes our students deserve fully staffed and safe schools, up-to-date resources, and competitive salaries for educators who dedicate their lives to shaping the next generation. Tonight, I urge all of us, board members, educators, parents, and citizens to stand together and put collective pressure on our county commissioners. Whether it's through letters, phone calls, or community advocacy, we must insist that they fully fund our schools, especially because, unlike in years past, the money to fund our budget is available. On behalf of Worcester United, thank you again for your hard work, and let's continue fighting for the schools our students deserve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. And now moving right along with curriculum instruction report, and Ms. D. Shorts.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Buchanan. Our first presentation is Buckingham Elementary this evening, and as you know, Board, they are one of our 3 Title I schools, Buckingham Elementary, Pocomoke Elementary, and Snow Hill Elementary, and they have a really nice presentation to show the collaboration of more than just being a Title I school and how they use their concentration of poverty money and also their Judy Center funds to what we call braiding funds, so that they can benefit their students and their school community in the best way possible. So we have Dr. Chris Welch here with us, and I know she'll introduce her team for us, but thank you, Chris, for showing us how you go about building your school community.
Chris,
So
pass the
welcome.
mic so we can pick you up on the feed there, please.
Yes, thank you.
So good evening, everyone. We are truly excited to be here tonight to share an initiative that's been evolving over the last year. And it really did come about when Ms. Shorts in a levels meeting last year said she really wanted us to collaborate with our Judy Center, our Title I program, and our concentration of poverty funds. So we took that and ran with it, and we planned monthly meetings. And we're here tonight to show you the amazing results of some real intentional planning that went on. So I'm going to introduce my amazing team. As you can see, I have beautiful women up here with me, ready to go. I've got Ms. Tanya Morris Davis, who is the site director of the Buckingham Judy Center. I've got Amanda Chafee, who is our community schools liaison, and Ms. Jocelyn Brittingham, who is our Title I specialist. And we're going to go through tonight and just show you how we're using these programs to make big impact for our students.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So again, I'm Tanya Morris Davis. I'm the site manager of the Judy Center at Buckingham. So basically the Judy Center is a full day, 4-year service, and we promote school readiness for children ages birth to 5. And some of our services that we offer are the free home education program, and then we also have a Tiny Tot Time playgroup that is held at Buckingham Elementary School on Tuesdays and Thursdays mornings from 9 to 10.
Hi, so I'm the Title I specialist for Buckingham, and what Title I is a federal education program. It's actually a grant that provides additional funding to schools where a majority of the student population lives at or below the poverty level. The funding is used to increase student achievement and also to encourage family engagement. The way Title I funding is used varies from school to school, but at Buckingham, we use our Title I funding to provide additional teachers, additional support staff, professional development, additional materials of instruction, and to host parent and family engagement activities.
Hi, I'm Amanda Chafee. I'm the new community school coordinator. So community schools serve as a hub to provide best wraparound services for our families and our students to enhance all of their skills to hopefully increase their quality of life and to perform academically as well as socially and emotionally. Buckingham is in their first year of community school, so we are focused on the needs assessment approach right now. So we are surveying families to ask them like what they need, what we are doing well, where we can improve, and gaps to better strengthen them.
So you might be asking, these are 3 very rich programs. They do a lot for families. Why would we want to blend them together? And the first thing is that we're better together than we are alone. So we develop these strong partnerships where we're able to provide lots of services to families. And the biggest part of this is we're not duplicating services. And we want to make sure that we're spending our money wisely. So we're intentional about looking at an event, looking at families, and planning for them. The next item on the list is long-term impact. The Judy Center starts with our youngest family members, birth, and then what we hope to do is create a pipeline of services for families, and we can do that when we start here and we go through these programs, because Jocelyn's going to give us resources that are going to help while they're in school, and Amanda can help the entire family, even in some cases after families, are out of school. Finally, this is the best one, comprehensive support. We want to make sure we're creating students and citizens that are ready to be productive members of our community. And to do that, we need the support of all three programs. We could work in silos, but it just wouldn't be smart. And when Ms. Shorts gave us that challenge, we really took it and ran with it.
So our first event where we braided funds was a Title I hosted Math Trails and Campfire Tales event. So the event was designed to meet math and literacy standards for grades pre-K through 4, and it had the additional goal of giving parents additional exposure to the county's new Wit and Wisdom literacy curriculum and to send them home with math fact fluency materials. Adding our community partners into that event was great because oftentimes our families will have needs that reach outside of the academic arena. So having those services there and on site was really an excellent opportunity for our families. Having the Judy Center there was also a great addition because so many of the Buckingham families have students who are in school but also siblings who are at home, and it gave us an opportunity to make contact with those families and introduce them to the Judy Center program.
So through the Fathers Forward initiative, the Judy Center, the Title I, and the Community Liaison, we all partnered together to bring male role models to help students reconnect with school in a positive way as they transition back into the school after winter break. And we call that the Smart Start into the new year. We had a lot of community partners, a lot of community members and role models who came in, and they gave the children high fives, they gave them positive reinforcements as they were coming into the school. And the founder of that is Eugene Schneeberg, which we work closely with him at the Judy Center.
And lastly, through the various surveys that we have sent out this year, families have indicated that they want more workshops. So whether that is indicating bedtime routines, how to navigate big emotions, ways to get your kid extra help after school. So we have started Bucky's Family Den. So families can bring their children to either the media, the gym, and we will provide childcare services during the event. We have been super fortunate to have BIS students and Stephen Decatur Middle students who were also former Bucky Bears to come and provide the childcare. And so through this, the families seem to really like it. We asked them afterwards, what did you like, what did you dislike? We have even gotten donations from Chick-fil-A to feed the kids, so thank you, Chick-fil-A. But overall, it's been really nice, and it's been really nice to see because some staff will stay and volunteer their services, but then we also have our own students giving back for service learning hours, or even former students who are just coming to help.
And these are just some pictures of our best work. And these kids are a testament to the work that we're doing here. I feel fortunate to work with 3 amazing leaders, and we've worked together this year to really come up with community visits in the summertime. We had a kindergarten signing. The Cat in the Hat Cutie Pie is from one of the Tiny Tot Times. The little girl up in the corner is from a Tiny Tot Time. It's just been a very rewarding year. We feel like we're going to see a lot of impact by working together. And we want to thank the board and the executive team for always supporting Buckingham. And the exciting part is when we have our new building, we're going to have a lot of space for all these programs. So I'm really excited about that. So the Judy Center especially, because they're in a closet right now. So do you have any questions?
I just want to commend you folks for doing everything that you're doing, and Ms. Shorts for her leadership, and Dr. Welsh and the entire team for making a difference for our families and community. Well done, team. Well done.
Great job, Buckingham. So proud of your work, and it really does show that working together does make you stronger. Thank you, Dr. Welch. Our next presentation is around school improvement, and I will say school improvement has been a journey. And to go in the Wayback Machine, back when Dr. Andes was superintendent, we did something called AFG, Accreditation for Growth. And I often tease Mr. Taylor, between Dr. Andes leaving and Mr. Taylor becoming the superintendent, we kind of got a little bit lax in the school improvement area, and possibly his second day of being superintendent, Mr. Taylor was like, we need to improve school improvement. We have to make improvements on school improvement. And so we looked back at AFG, and they had changed their model quite a bit, and we weren't sure it really fit Worcester County Public Schools as it did so well when Dr. Andes was superintendent. So we got some input actually from different school leaders who were working with Johns Hopkins University, JHU, with some other projects, and we found that they had a great process called the dynamic impact process, and we kind of fell in love with it and used some of our ESSER funds for 3 years to work with their staff full-time. And after they were gone, we were able to transition into Kirsten Deanna Savage, who is going to do a brief presentation for us tonight on where we've moved it since JHU has left us on the school improvement process. But as you know, Worcester County Public Schools is very data-driven. We are very focused on school improvement and student data and student progress. And Kirsten has just done a wonderful job in picking up where JHU left us a few years back. So she's going to just share a glimpse as to where we are now, and hopefully it will give you a good idea of what we're doing nowadays. So welcome, Kirsten.
Thank you. So
There you go.
I'm having tech issues tonight. It's hard coming after Buckingham with all their cute pictures of students. So tonight I am going to tell you about dynamic impact and how our schools are leveraging the process to improve adult actions and practices to increase student outcomes. Each of our schools has 3 teams. They have a safety team that focuses on attendance and behavior. Then they have academic teams that focus on literacy and mathematics. The dynamic impact process uses the TAP-IT cycle, and the schools go around through the cycles as they are continuously improving. It all starts with team, and dynamic impact is incredibly different than a lot of other school improvement processes because it really focuses on adults and how well they are working together. During team, the teams craft a vision and a mission statement so they know what their why is. They also fill out a high-performance team rating scale to evaluate how well they work together as a team. Then they review their data on how they're working as a team, and they craft a goal. Some of our schools chose goals to work on some of the high-leverage practices like listening to understand, individual accountability, or even completing activities on time. To assist our teams in continually improving, our agendas end at every meeting ends with how well did our team do, and they rate themselves and they discuss how can we be an even better team next time. Keeping these teaming norms and principles at the forefront is really improving our teaming process. During the analyze stage of school improvement, this is where teams review the student data and they identify trends or patterns that they're seeing in the student data. And they have to do a root cause analysis, and that's the triangle you can see the teachers standing around. And during that root cause analysis, it's really important that you can listen to understand and that you can respect your colleagues, because when you're talking about your weaknesses, it's really difficult. So it's great that dynamic impact helps us work together as a team so that we can really deal with conflict well to move forward. Then the next stage is plan. Once they've decided on the root cause or why the data is happening, then the teams discuss possible solutions or how they can improve adult actions to impact student performance. And I have on the board a list of the evidence-based practices that our schools use to improve adult actions. In the triangle that I shared with you on the previous slide, they decided that they had some students that were not doing well in math class. They felt when they were doing their triangle process that they really and truly were providing a lot of interventions on the individual level, but some students still weren't being successful in math class. So they decided to use the math planning evidence-based practice to improve teacher performance on planning to hopefully impact student performance. And like during all school improvement plans, during planning stage, they also make student goals as well. During the implement stage, this is where the teams decide on what action steps they're going to use to improve. And the team that did the triangle on math planning, they decided that in order to get these students who were in interventions already to be successful in on-grade level content, they decided that they needed professional learning on the math progressions and on being able to scaffold and differentiate during main lesson, during the on-grade level time. So by focusing on teacher capacity, the team believed that they would be able to have a positive impact on student performance. Then, at the end of the cycle, they look at their student data, they look at their implementation data, and they also look at their teaming data to decide, did they meet each of their goals? Our teams just met for the mid-cycle, and they just decided whether they met their goals or not. And if they met their goals, they continued on with a lot of the activities they were doing. But if they didn't meet their goal, they made adjustments. This year, we're really focusing on seeing those improvements. When our teams see that they've had an impact on student data, they get really excited. I've seen teams give each other high fives, and they just get so happy and giddy during the meetings because they're really proud of themselves. And our theme is collective efficacy. And collective efficacy is the shared belief that through collective action, or school improvement plans, we can have a positive effect on student outcomes, including students who are disengaged or disadvantaged. Collective efficacy, as you can see from John Hattie's chart there, it is off the chart on improving student outcomes. So when our adults are working together and they believe they can change student outcomes, they do. And when our school focuses, all of the teams also craft a collective efficacy statement. And I actually have that statement on a Post-it note on my monitor so that every day I can remember what I need to focus on to have a great outcome. The team that focused on math planning, their collective efficacy statement was, when our school focuses on math planning, teachers will scaffold and differentiate on grade level lessons, which will result in all students being successful in math class. Thank you so much for letting me tell you about how our wonderful teams are really working on themselves to better our student outcomes. Any questions?
I've got a couple.
Okay.
Are we dealing with all levels of schools, elementary, middle, and high school?
Yes.
Right? Okay. How do you put the teams together?
So the schools get to decide who they're going to have on their safety team, their literacy team, and their math team. Their safety team, we want to make sure that we have someone who is well-versed in restorative practices, so their RP champion is on that team. Someone who is on their PBIS team should also be on that team. And then we like to have an administrator on that team as well because it deals with attendance and behavior. We also have a counselor on that team. On the academic teams, we like to have special education teachers, multilingual teachers, the gen ed teachers, as well as any other support personnel.
And how many times do you meet?
We meet every month. The teams are meeting.
Okay.
And so they meet in the summertime with a kickoff. And then every month I have a half-hour meeting with them to help set up their agendas to talk about any barriers that they're facing within their school improvement plan. And then we also meet mid-cycle, which is around midterm time. And that's when they look at their data to see if there's any adjustments that they need to make. and then we meet at the end of each semester.
Every year, do you alter the teams, mix the teams up a little bit so that somebody who was in maybe the safety team now would go into academic team? And
Great question. So we started off 4 years ago with literacy, and that was our main focus. Then we went to mathematics. Last year we did safety as our focus, and this year we also decided we needed to do safety as our focus. However, about halfway through semester 1, Sarah Blackburn, our math coordinator, and Cassidy Hamborski, our literacy coordinator, came to me, and we all really decided that we really needed to reboot and reconnect really closely with our literacy and math teams. So at the end of semester 1, we also met with our literacy and our math teams at a county level meeting, which was great.
Okay, thank you. Any other board member? Mr. Gordy?
Kristen, the proof is in the pudding, right? We continue to be a leader for Worcester County Schools in every aspect of student life, and there's no magic trick to that. It takes hard work, and it takes people coming together, just as you're explaining here. And so I think if you're looking for a yardstick to measure your success and success of these ladies that were up here by us a while ago, who get children ready for school from birth to 5. That's amazing. So what you're doing is working. What you're doing is evident every day, and we appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Our school improvement teams work very, very hard. Thank you.
It's in the writing. I know schools are data-driven. You got the data to back up what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you so much.
Okay, moving right along, Dr. Annette Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. As our next group comes up, I didn't know if Mr. Taylor, you wanted to share, or I can share about our plan, our school improvement plan, in last week at PZAM.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Taylor attended ESMEC and PZAM last week, where they were asked to share a problem of practice around school improvement. And Mr. Taylor took with him our school improvement process, to which I think everyone was like super amazed and impressed at our process, and asked him to share it with everyone in the meeting. And so during the meeting, everyone got copies of it, to which when he came back, Dee and I quickly said, we need to make sure that we copyright this because everyone's taking it. The more the merrier with it, but I think everyone was very impressed with our outstanding and almost shocked at how strong our process was. And everything is, if you're ever interested in learning more, or Mr. Buchanan and Mr. Gordy, I know you've served on school improvement teams. If you want to do it again, I'm sure, I know you loved your time on those teams. No. But we've come a long way, as Pepsi Cola said, I think. It made us really proud when Mr. Taylor came back and shared that. So kudos to not only Kirsten and our teams and our school leaders, but to Wendy and Bess and a few people before them who had the foresight to involve us in that work with Hopkins. And I give a lot of credit to Ms. Shorts, because she didn't give herself credit. It was her idea for us to move down this road. So thank you, Ms. Shorts, also.
Plus, Ms. Shorts was very complimentary, but I think it was the second day of my superintendency that I called Ms. Shorts in my office, and she was not in that role, and I said, I want a school improvement plan. And she started to say something back. I said, what word don't you understand? And she took it and ran, and has done a fantastic job leading that process, as well as many others. So I professionally thank Ms. Shorts for taking on that task.
So our next presentation is around unified sports, and we have two amazing coaches who are coaches of unified sports and other sports who are here with us tonight. And I'm sort of jealous because I very much miss my coaching days at Stephen Decatur High School, and I see you too, and I'm like, oh, I miss that so much. So I won't take away any of their thunder, and I'll let Mr. Seitz introduce his presenters. I won't take his thunder either.
Thank you, Dr. Wallace. I thank you for allowing us to showcase a program that I'm very passionate as a principal and as a former special education teacher at Stephen Decatur High School, and that's our Unified Sports Program. I'm going to introduce these two ladies in just a second. But just to give you some background, Unified Sports is relatively new. I want to say it's almost 10 years old at Stephen Decatur High School. And it allows for so many students to participate, and that's what I love about it. You heard what Luke said, two-time state champion in unified strength and conditioning. It was in his report today. But it's not about the state championships. It's about what we provide for students and how we provide for students. So I'm not going to steal their thunder. Miss Lindsay Owens and Miss Shannon Bone are our unified coaches. They're just coming from lacrosse practice. They're also our girls lacrosse coaches. They do the unified tennis in the fall, and they also have unified strength and conditioning in the winter. In the spring, when they're coaching the girls lacrosse, Coach Jake Coleman, our football coach, is also coaching unified, and he coaches bocce in the spring, so he does a phenomenal job too. But again, I'm not going to steal the thunder. They got a lot to tell you about a great program at Stephen Decatur.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us. I'm Lindsay Owens, and we're just going to dive right into it. Unified Sports is basically a student athlete that has a physical or intellectual disability, and they get paired up with a student athlete that does not have a disability in a variety of sports. It's more than just the sport, and this is what we tell our student athletes all the time when we have our informational meeting. It's not about the actual sport that they're playing, it's about the relationship that they're making with each other, learning from each other, and just kind of being one pair, one unified pair. There are 6 unified sport programs that Maryland recognizes. At Decatur, we have 3. Again, unified tennis is in the fall, unified strength and conditioning is in the winter, and then we have unified bocce in the spring. All of our sports at Decatur are recognized as a varsity program. Every single student athlete that's on the team gets a varsity letter. They get a pin, a varsity pin, and then also a certification. Unified tennis, it is doubles, so a student that has a disability will pair up with a student that does not have a disability, and they will play in against another team with the similar pairs. It is modified, so everyone is successful. They modify the type of court that they play on, whether it's smaller or longer, as well as the type of ball that they use, which is pretty incredible. So again, no one is frustrated and everyone is successful. Unified strength and conditioning is a lot to it. There are 9 different events, and it ranges everything from strength to speed and agility to endurance. And then finally at the end is kind of the whole big gauntlet of a PT series, which only the strong survive when doing that. And then finally we have unified bocce, which unfortunately we cannot coach because we are coaching girls lacrosse, but our student athletes are in great hands with Coach Coleman, and they again have a lot of our girls, as you see in the picture here, are lacrosse girls, and they also practice on the turf. So when I think this was at one of the bocce meets, we were at practice and we were cheering them on. So it goes above and beyond, which Coach Bone is going to talk about.
All right. So we wanted to talk about Decatur by the numbers because it's actually overwhelming at times. So as Coach Owen said, we originally started coaching girls lacrosse. We were actually here at the board last year when our athletic director, Dan DeBronze, asked us if we wanted to do unified strength and conditioning. And we said sure. We had no idea what we were doing. So in our first year, we had about 42 students participate. It was the first unified strength and conditioning team in Worcester County. I was familiar with it just with my time in Dorchester County, and so Mr. Seitz was super supportive of us utilizing our awesome Decatur Athletic Performance Center and bringing strength and conditioning. So we dove right on in. We won a state championship, we were shocked by it. The kids were amazed by it. It was awesome. And then we kind of started the really cool trend of unified, everyone wanting to join. So after unified strength, Mr. DeBronze came back to Coach Owens and I and said, what about tennis in the fall? And here we are. We did it. and we had 41 kids come out. This was actually the first time since before COVID that we've had unified tennis at Decatur. And so we had 41 students come out. It was also a learning curve. We had no idea that there was 4 different courts and 4 different balls, but we figured it out. The kids, we have the best support system at Decatur. We had actual tennis players, because we are not. Some of our students who play tennis in the spring, they're not eligible to actively participate, but they came and volunteered and helped us coach. They were a huge support system for us. And then this past winter, we had our second season of Unified Strength, and we had 67 students. We actually had a list of 94 kids and come to our interest meeting, so we were overwhelmed. But we ended the season with 67 students, and Mr. DeBrown shared with us that we are the second largest winter sport at Stephen Decatur High School, right behind wrestling, so that was pretty cool. Well, thank you. So we also wanted to share, because again, as Mr. Sight said, it's not just about winning, although our kids have really learned their competitive edge. So we wanted to unify Worcester County Public Schools in general. So our kids have absolutely become celebrities at our school. They wear their medals constantly. Michael, for instance, has I don't even know how many medals, and like his neck is constantly dangling with silver and gold. And he has no problem just walking around. I mean, the kids are absolutely included and just so celebrated at our school every day. And so now we have Aiden Scott. If you look in the top right, I just want to give him a special shout out, because our school, he's a senior this year, and he's introduced us here multiple times when you guys have been so gracious to welcome us here to recognize you guys are also in the top left here. But Aiden is now doing our Decatur News Network with Mr. Thompson and just absolutely crushing the morning announcements. The bottom left, the county commissioners welcomed us and celebrated our inclusion and diversity with our state championship this past fall. And then also our students are recognized as Athletes of the Month. So it is cool to be a part of Unified and to celebrate them. And it is cool that we are recognized. Thank you again, guys, for bringing us here with all the other sports and our county commissioners. And also shout out to Snow Hill High School, because they started a team. So we were super excited to be a host school this winter and help Snow Hill High School watch them grow and be celebrated as well. So it's becoming infectious throughout the whole county. We're also trying to unify our community, so raise awareness and promote inclusion and celebrate the diversities that come with unified athletics. And so we've been really adamant about building relationships within our local businesses. So actually last year we had at Pure Fitness, we had Mr. Burke help us. We took all of our kids to Pure. We were in the St. Patrick's Day Parade last year and also a part, again, of the Decatur News Network. And lastly, we're very excited because we are actually going to be submitting our application to become a unified champion school. So there's 3 pillars, and we kind of have always been doing them. So the inclusive youth leadership, having captains and other unified students be active in our school culture. The whole school engagement, we actually had our unified tennis team on the bottom there. It was a football game that was just pouring down rain. All of our kids came. We got celebrated at halftime. We were super grateful for that. At our basketball games were celebrated. So we will officially be a unified champion school in the fall. Oh my. And lastly, so this is Neurodiversity Week. So we're super excited. Miss Sarah Ray actually has been in touch with us, kind of organizing. She put on the Neurodiversity Spirit Week this week. So we're excited that we're speaking to you guys, although usually the March meeting is a little more packed. But so on March 5th, we actually joined the Spread the Word Inclusion Day campaign. And this was, I was just in awe. Our students, again, we just have the best community and the best kids. And so Spread the Word has been around for a long time. And so it used to be Spread the Word to End the Word, but they've expanded their grassroots efforts. And so we joined the inclusion campaign. Ultimately, we had our students with Unified Athletics come work all 4 lunches, and we had pledges. We had a giant poster where if you signed a pledge, you could go sign your name. And these pictures don't even do it justice of how many. We had over 500 pledges just completely covering that hallway. I took pictures at the very beginning, and then I was just kind of in shock and awe just throughout, just watching our kids work together. We had Christian, who's like 6 foot plus, I mean, going up to kids being like, you got to sign this. And it was just so cool just to see everyone come together, not just at a unified event, but just in our school. And our school, we finally took them down just today, actually, because they were up for a week, and we had over 500 pieces of paper and pledges to inclusion. So that was super special for us last week. And that is about it. Thank you guys so much again for this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Seitz, for including us. We're so excited to kind of spread the word on what we've been up to and what we're doing and why we do it. Do you guys have any questions?
Dr. Andes?
Coaches, I want to thank you, and especially your families, because while you're coaching, your families are missing you. So I thank you for sacrificing your time, and thank your families for allowing you to give back to our community and create a phenomenal program. In my prior life, in 2008, the Unified Sports Program was launched.
Sure was.
It was. And in my prior life, I wasn't too certain how this would all work. And I was a skeptic that it would actually work. But what you have proven more than anything else is if you get the right people with contagious enthusiasm and great leadership, great things happen. So I thank you, I praise you, and I celebrate you, and I celebrate the students for what you're doing at Stephen Decatur High School and the entire community. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Being a former sports person, I'd be remiss if I didn't say anything. I think the most, to piggyback off of Dr. Andes, when we take kids with disabilities and make things happen, the world changes for them. You know, I celebrate state championships with football and field hockey and all that, but even when you brought those kids down here that day, to see the excitement, and I have a special heart for special needs kids, because they're not given what people like myself are given. And so to just piggyback, given your time, and I was a former 3-sport coach, went from August until May. I know what he's saying and what you have to sacrifice, and I do thank you for that. And I thank Mr. Seitz and the leadership at Stephen Decatur High School for making unified sports such a high priority. I saw the banners the other day. I was there at the gym for the job fair. I saw them and really stared at them more than I did anything else. So again, thank you for what you do. And I too am so grateful that we have something for kids with disabilities to shine in and perform in. And I can just tell that you're enthused about it, and that, as Dr. Andy said, that's the key in coaching. Kids can read you. If you're enthused, man, they can turn it up. And apparently they're doing that at Stephen Decatur, so thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, next on the agenda, the blueprint update.
Bum, bum, you know, D Downer, the blueprint. So just a couple very brief updates. Each year, the blueprint implementation plan does get reviewed. I think I've shared with the board this year, the plan last year was written till 2027. So the AIB and MSDE is trying to decide how they're going to review, really progress monitor the plan this year. So the AIB has put together a little committee, which I volunteered to be a part of, to look at how they're going to do a review. Right now, they're calling it conferences that they're going to be setting up, and it looks like our superintendent may miss it. Our new superintendent might be part of those conferences. They're looking at doing it at the beginning, possibly October-ish of next school year. to review our progress on our plan, which is interesting because they should be doing it this school year to release the money. But that's what they're planning to do. So I'll continue to keep you posted. As I said, I'm part of a subcommittee, and we've met one time so far, and it was an interesting meeting. And I will say that the AIB is being very open and transparent and allowing a lot of input from blueprint coordinators and others to add to this process. But right now there'll be conferences with superintendents and blueprint coordinators and whoever the superintendent would want to review pieces of the blueprint plan and progress monitor it. So I'll keep you posted. The other thing I'd like to share with you is Carrie has up on the screen, you know, we've done 2 community meetings, one back in February, and we just did one on Pillars 2 and 4 last Wednesday. We actually did do that one live stream because the weather didn't impact our meeting. And I just wanted to once again, first of all, thank Dr. App and Ms. Lauren Williams for sharing their expertise and our challenges and successes for Pillars 2 and 4 last Wednesday. But we've now completed all of our community input meetings around all 5 pillars, and we will continue to keep our feedback loops open. Carrie has posted those on our website, and we are continuing to gather data and finding out what our community wants to know more about as far as our successes and challenges, which is how we've structured those meetings this year around the blueprint. So some people may have participated. We didn't have anyone in our live audience last Wednesday, but we hopefully had people asking questions on our from our recordings or watching the live stream. So we'll keep you posted on our input for that at next month's meeting. But that concludes the blueprint update, unless anyone has questions.
Mr. Gordy.
Dee, is there any indication of how the state's budget situation might impact the blueprint or vice versa? Are we getting any indications there?
Well, I believe until April, until the legislative sessions are over, we really won't know. There's been much speculation. In fact, Vince and I were just speaking with the leadership team today. He was sharing some information I believe you heard, possibly even through another call that you had, that it might even go past that due to other session meetings, that it may not be even firmed up then. But as far as what they're sharing with us, that it would be the collaborative planning time is really what's on the line for this year. And now they're suggesting that rather than putting it out for 4 years, they're thinking about only postponing it for 1 year at this point in the governor's budget. They were thinking about putting a halt to concentration of poverty funds, but we've been told that we do have another school coming on board for next year. So we're moving forward with that. I don't know, Vince, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Everything she said was correct, but of course it's still almost 3 weeks before the session ends. It's almost 3 weeks before the session ends, so a lot of things could happen. I mean, right now the Senate wants to do it one way with tax increases. The House wants to do it another way with keeping the blueprint intact. So it's going back and forth. There's going to be some reconciliation going on, and anything can happen, Mr. Gordy, between now and then.
Any other? Thank you, Ms. Short.
Yep, and that concludes curriculum and instruction, so back to you.
Okay, now on for the personnel exhibit, Dr. App.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. I have the March personnel exhibit for your consideration. Our retirements for this month: Jeffrey Foote, Data Manager, Special Education, Central Office. New hires: Gary Carter, Custodian 2, Stephen Decatur High School. Crystal Hitch, Teacher, Health Occupations at Worcester Technical High School. Alexis Martinenza, Teacher at Berlin Intermediate School. Brooklyn Truitt, Foreign Language Exploration Teacher at Stephen Decatur Middle School. Separations for this month: Tyrone Downing, Head Custodian, Pocomoke High School. Raheem Hammond, Educational Assistant, Snow Hill High School. Patricia Holtquist, Teacher, Pocomoke Elementary School. Emily Montgomery, pre-K teacher at Shall Elementary School. Mackenzie Parsons, educational assistant, Worcester Technical High School, The Nest. Sarah Pryor, math teacher, Snow Hill Middle School. Braden Reed Andrews, custodian 2, Steve Indicator High School. And promotion, Jennifer Kavanaugh, school counselor for next year at Berlin Intermediate School. The superintendent recommends approval of the personnel exhibit as presented.
Can I have a motion to approve the personnel exhibit as presented?
Motion.
Motion, Mrs. Addis, second.
Second.
Dr. Andes, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have some new policy and look at tonight. Dr. Wallace?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Buchanan. I'm going to introduce Miss Wendy Phillips, who I'm going to give her a nudge. The next time I introduce her at some point, I'm going to introduce her as Dr. Phillips. So that's your nudge to keep working on your dissertation. She appreciates that. She's going to be here this evening, and she is going to present, I believe, 3 different policies to you, 2 on service animals and 1 on recording an IEP and 504 meetings.
Pushed up.
Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Okay, so the first policy is a new policy, and it is around recording of 504 and IEP meetings. Each local LEA is required for Maryland to adopt a policy around IEP meetings and 504 meetings. We are going to prohibit the recording of meetings unless an accommodation is sought 3 business days prior. And
yep. So does anyone have any questions for Ms. Phillips around that policy? She did work with legal counsel with Ms. Stansberry on this.
So just as a clarification, if a parent wants to record an IEP meeting, as long as they give us notification in advance,
3 days prior.
at least 3 days prior, they will be able to record on their own personal recording device an IEP or 504 meeting.
And then we will record as well, so that
Okay.
we have a duplicate recording. And it also is if they have a disability that prevents them from actively participating within the meeting. We also have a parent facilitator here in Worcester County, so if they can't and they're struggling to understand the IEP meeting, we can set them up with her, and that's Pam Green.
So only if they need
Only.
the accommodation for some type of disability. So it's not or, it's
Okay.
only.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, for example, a parent that is deaf or hard of hearing and they need an interpreter, they might request to record the meeting so they can watch it back with the interpreter signing.
Okay.
Any other questions? The superintendent recommends approval of policy 2A17, recording of IEP and 504 meetings as presented.
Can I have a motion and a second to approve policy 2A-17, recording to IEP and 504 meetings as presented?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Smack.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gordy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, so the next 2 policies regard service animals for students and service animals for visitors. Worcester County Policy 5D08, service animals for students. Worcester County Policy I1D, service animals for visitors. This is clarifying the responsibilities of the handler or for the service animal. Notably, the changes emphasize the supervision and the care of the animal.
So specifically around feeding, and you can see that in your exhibit, exercising and cleanup being the responsibility of the handler. That was not addressed in our policy before, so that has been revised. So if there's no questions, the superintendent would recommend the approval of revised policies 1D05, service animals and visitors, and policy 4D08, service animal students as presented.
Can I have a motion and a second to approve revised policy 1D05, service animals dash visitors, and IVD08, service animals students as presented? Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Smack.
Second.
Second, Mrs. Addis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. The next policy you have before you is Policy 2B, Organization and Standards, 2B03, regarding graduation requirements. Each year, we meet with a team of school counselors, school administrators, and some other folks who work on our course catalog every year. And to give you a little background, our course catalog is essentially like a holy document for our school system. It's sort of our Bible. It's how we operate. Each ninth grade class who comes in, that is their guiding document for their requirements. In doing that, we also do a review of making sure that all of our policy is matching up with those things. Unfortunately, we found something in our policy that had not been updated. Not unfortunately, but we found something in our policy that had not been updated and should have been updated. So we're bringing that to the board today, and specifically, there's two changes to it that I'll direct your attention to. One is simply to social studies, and instead of that was just a formatting change. If you look under mathematics, it's listed 4, and specifically one of those has to be algebra, and the other one has to be geometry. But then under social studies, they were all listed as separate bullets instead of listed the same. So that's just a formatting change to make the format look the same as it looks in other areas. And then the second change was under science, and specifically due to COMAR 13A 030203, one of those courses has to be in earth, space, environmental science, one in biology, and one in physical science specifically. So there was a change in COMAR that happened that required us to do that, and then you can see above it is listed that number 3. So it's not a change in the number of science courses students had to take. It specifically is a change in making sure we're in alignment with our course catalog and COMAR with the specific science courses that we now have to take. There was some flexibility before, and that has since changed. It also it also aligns with our end of course assessments that students now take in a science course. If you remember, there used to be high school assessments. That is now an end of course assessment, which counts as 20% of our students' grade in government and also in science. Any questions about this policy?
So just a clarification, this change in policy aligns what we're doing in Worcester County with State Code of Maryland regulations.
Correct.
And any changes in the policy or formatting changes or changes that we have to make because the state changed the rules.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So the superintendent would, if there's, I'm sorry, is there any other further questions? All right, the superintendent would recommend your approval of revised policy 2B03 graduation requirements as presented.
Can I have a motion and a second to approve revised policy 2B03 graduation requirements as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Dr. Andy, second by Mr. Gordy. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. I'll move on to our safety update. We have had quite the winter weather this year. If you're a snow lover, I'm sure you've enjoyed it. If you're not a snow lover, you probably have not enjoyed it. As school district personnel, it's been interesting. So I shared with you that we had, I believe, had 2 safety meetings that got canceled because of the snow. And finally, we wised up and we said, you know what? We are going to instead move this meeting to virtual just in case, because we need to get our safety meetings in. So we moved that to virtual. It actually worked out really well. We had great participation from our entire district safety team. We met on February 20th. 2 updates that I want to share with you since our last meeting. We participate in with our sheriff's office and partnering agencies. Anytime we have any sort of safety incident or significant drill in our schools, we meet with them and we talk about improvements that we can make. And one improvement of something that's called a Knox box that we have in our schools, and each of our partnering departments have a key to that. And what that does is it allows them to access a master key to the school without needing help of any of the school's personnel, which in a true safety emergency is a really important thing. If it's something that turns out to be not a big deal, it probably isn't that big of a deal, but we would much rather be safe than sorry. And so what we realized is we had those boxes for, if you've worked in a school, you're familiar because we had those for fire, and we've always had those for fire. Our law enforcement partners did not have that. So we have since then, under Mr. Sean Goddard, I give him a lot of credit because he got the work done very quickly when we realized that we didn't have those. So we have had those successfully installed in all of our schools, and our partner agencies have the access to now get into those so that they can access every room. The second thing that you notice, and as you can see right here on this door, was something that really came out of our safety group. Mr. Goddard had an idea, and then when we met with our safety committee, one of those members is a member of fire service, and he gave us some suggestions on numbering. This is helpful when emergency responders come to your building because they know which we would say to them, or the person who potentially the school resource officer will say to them, you know, we have a medical emergency at door 20. And so we have now had, it is a number on each side of our doors in all of our schools throughout our district. That project has taken Mr. Goddard a little bit of time, but we have completed that project because, as you can imagine, we have a lot of entrances and exits in all of our 14 schools in central office, but we have completed that project as well. Any questions?
What was that box called again?
A knock box?
Knock box. And
Yeah.
then does law enforcement have like a master map?
Every school.
Yes.
For every school? So that
Yes,
okay.
they all have copies, and Mr. Goddard has actually gotten them updated copies now. They had copies before, but that have all the numbering on them, as well as I believe our fire service as well. You shared that with?
Yes.
That's
So
a great
emergency
idea.
services and fire. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you,
Back
Dr.
to you, Mr.
Wallace.
Buchanan.
Monthly financial report, and Mr. Tolbert.
Yes, sir, Mr. Buchanan. The monthly financial report for the month of February with non-salary expenditures totaling $3,682,542.33. The superintendent recommends approval of the financial report as presented.
Can I have a motion and a second to approve the February 28th, 2025 monthly financial report as presented?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Smack,
Second.
second by Mr. Gordy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we are at the Board of Education reports. I'd like to now open up the floor to my fellow board members in the event that you have any comments. Dr. Andes?
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. I had the pleasure on March the 10th of attending the Eastern Shore Literacy Association Awards Program, and you heard many of the shout-outs tonight from our student board members who expressed the winners. And I was very pleased to be in the audience and very excited that we had many students from Worcester County Public Schools place in that competition, and many of those students going on to state competitions. So congratulations and thank you to all the integrated language arts teachers, elementary school teachers, and everyone else who encouraged our students to participate in that program. Secondly, the Media Expo, as was said earlier, is coming up this week. I had the honor of judging. I'm not going to tell you what category. I had the honor of judging some outstanding entrants into the Media Expo, and I encourage everyone to attend the Media Expo at Snow Hill High School on Thursday evening to see the outstanding work of our students. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there because I'm teaching that night at Salisbury University, but please go see our students and see what they've done and celebrate them. And third item and final item for me is spring sports has started on March the 1st. I want to thank all the coaches who are out there. Hopefully the weather will improve so they're not freezing. Also want to thank the family members who support our student athletes out there on a daily basis, our school leadership teams, our school leadership who have official duties at all of those games and so forth and so on. And I wish the student athletes the very best during spring sports. Thank you.
Any other board member? Okay, Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Have some announcements?
I just have a few announcements, and I will say it for the fourth time tonight. Please, please, on March the 20th, come out to our media expo. We can't overemphasize it enough. It's probably one of the most exciting and well-attended, and it's just amazing the work that our kids do. And I also want to thank our folks who lead that, who do endless hours to prepare that evening. I get to shake about 300 hands and hand out medals, and it's worth every second of it. Now, when I started that 9 years ago, I was in pretty good shape when it was over. Last year, I was just about out of breath. I don't know how I'll make out this year, but we're going to give it a try. But it's a great evening. So again, Snow Hill High School, 5 o'clock, March the 20th. Also on April the 4th, our schools will be closed for students that day, as it is a professional day, ending our third marking period. And then on April the 8th, our team will present the FY26 budget presentation to the county commissioners. It is my hope, with all the extra work that's been done with the budget and the preparation from Mr. Tolbert and his staff, Kate, who's sitting in the audience. Kate, thank you. I don't think Terry was here earlier. I don't know if she's still around. Thank you all for the work you did. I've heard a lot of compliments from our elected officials this year on the presentation of the budget. So I'm looking for a great day on on April the 8th. On April the 15th, we will have our Fine Arts Festival, another outstanding event. That will too be at Snow Hill High School. That will begin at 5 p.m. Again, Fine Arts, April 15th. And then a great event led by Carrie Steers on April the 16th is our Teacher of the Year celebration at 6 p.m. at the Ocean City Convention Center. So between now and the 16th of April, we've got some outstanding events to attend. And as someone said earlier, our student reporters, the number of things that are happening with concerts, and the list goes on and on and on. And so we're very excited. The end of the year is tiresome, but it's exciting because we get to see a lot of great things that our students and our staff are putting together. So that are the events for this month. And back to you, Mr. Buchanan.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. The Worcester County Board of Education will hold a special meeting on Monday, March 31st, 2025, in the Sarah D. Thompson Board Meeting Room at the Worcester County Board of Education Central Office, located at 6270 Worcester Highway, Newark, Maryland. Open session will begin at 9 a.m. to immediately consider voting to convene in closed session under General Provisions Article 3-305B of the Annotated Code of Maryland. The board will adjourn the meeting from the closed session as no further action is anticipated. Board meeting information is posted on the website www.worcester12.org, located under board meeting board docs. And at this time, can I have a motion and a second to adjourn the
Motion
open
to
session?
adjourn.
That was very quick, Dr. Andes. Can I have a second? Second. Mr. Smack will second it. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Meeting closed.